Okay. I think I got it set up just fine. Okay. This is a video diary, like field style, like in Avatar, when the dude comes in, gets on the video camera and says all the stuff that happened and how he's feeling, and he gets, you know what I mean, right? So anyhow, I'm noticing that I was very avoidant of coming to make this video, but also it felt really exciting, mostly in a good way. I'm noticing some discomfort, excitement. So I'm gonna try to focus myself in a couple of ways. I've got Hugh here, one of my buddies, one of my snuggle ambassadors, and then I've got, actually I don't know which twin this is. I'm gonna say Swirl. I just need to label them so I remember which is which, because sometimes twins look so much alike, you gotta dress them in a different color so people can tell them apart, Okay, so when I'm on camera like this, I feel like a feeling right there. But the purpose here right now is to try to clear some blockages in my throat chakra and whatever else. There's so many words for all these things. Anyway, so clearing like long held secrecy, but don't worry, I'm not going to be like spilling like super painful secrets or something. It's just the energetic of God, even saying this, like even naming what I'm attempting to do intensifies the sensations. I wish I'd brought some sage. Okay, reminder to self, bring sage next time. Okay. I'm attempting a breadcrumb style video or memory capsule. Also trying to stay in a like around the campfire kind of way instead of I'm in a therapy session kind of way. There's it's quite the range there. So yeah, Corinne and I have talked often over the last few years, like how could we visually kind of categorize our videos so that people know if they're coming to like I'm crying and very upset kind of energetic video, or if it's oh my God, I know this super cool thing and I wanted to tell my friends, and so I put it here. Like it might be that energetic. People don't like surprises. And so that's why we haven't like really put a bunch of stuff out yet. Well, there's a lot that's public, but I mean, we haven't purposefully like tried to build the channel. And I'm still avoiding, but anyway, yeah, it's the categorization that I think is really important. But Corinne has been doing a ton of art, and I gotta remember to post the photo of our wall where we've got our friend Tom, the photographer, beautiful photograph, and then we've got Corinne's piece of art that Brian commissioned, and it's really cool. And there's a video I can add, and gosh, there's so many cool things. Okay, focus. Okay, so I took some notes. I got really mad at pens earlier today. I feel like the amount of ink they put on them is like a fucking ripoff, because I do not write that much that this should be running out as fast as it fucking does. And I don't think they're refillable. I should look. I can open it, but I don't know if I can buy the refills. Okay, so first, little bullet points that I've thought of today that I need to get at least a little bit out so that I can, you got to clear the space before something new can come in. So, project I've been thinking about for a long time. I think it's titled "First Time I Remember You." and it's where I tell the story of like the first time I remember somebody, and then kind of the arc of my experience of them up to kind of now, wherever possible. And so I wrote down some ideas, and I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of people I could do this on. This just happens to be the ideas that were coming to mind today. So Shane Barry is one. I need to write down Tressa. Gosh, her last name doesn't stick in my head. But I have very distinct memories of the first time meeting those two. And then my collaborator Phoenix, the gun cuddle. Yeah, so I have this whole list. Feel myself getting into business mode, and I don't want to get to business mode because it's still putting it off what I really wanted to come talk about to get it out so it stops being stuck in here. Okay. So, themes are inner teenager work. I don't know if it qualifies as parts work, but definitely like, yeah, I can't remember the right words right now. I'm not going to try that hard. And as a teenager, I didn't feel there were any adults around that I could trust fully to tell like, this is the awful stuff that's happening, and I wish I had an adult to help me, and I don't know how to navigate it. And so instead, I just like kept everything down, except for when I had rage fits or something like that. So on the one hand, I could, like let her speak as she would like to, but I think that'd be too intense for me right now. So I'm gonna instead try to like give like the little starter synopsis of an idea of like a then and now, which is another series I want to do, then and now. And what I imagine is that I'll do first draft video of then and now here on art of processing, and then when I'm ready for like the next draft, that's quite a bit less emotional, I'll put that over on my HT Campbell, I think that's what it's called, channel, and like collaborations with friends will start on art of processing sometimes, and then anyway, don't get off track. So inspirations, dark alchemy. I read a really beautiful piece this morning that clarifies what sit with it means, shadow work, emotional alchemy, inner child, and teenager work. So that all inspired me going, okay. I took a really great bath yesterday. I actually took 3 baths in only 2 days. I don't think that's a record for me, but I do think, I needed it so bad. Anyhow, so I was thinking about how awesome it is to take a bath where hot water just comes out of indoor plumbing, and there's like no wood stoves involved or anything. And you see how I'm like stuttering? Not to over intellectualize, but it's so obvious. Not to over intellectualize, but it's been such a long held practice to not speak about the things that were difficult that I like stutter when I try to tell it. Okay, round the fire. Style of storytelling. Okay, bath time, then and now. All right, so setting then, sometime in the 80s, I think, probably 11, 12, in that really bummer time when we didn't even have electricity, no indoor plumbing, no electricity, wood stove to warm our home, which was, just a few steps above a wooden tent. It did snow inside our house sometimes, depending on the wind direction and intensity. Gonna do some tapping. I let this come out because A little bit activating, much less than it used to be, much less than it used to be. Yay for progress, yay for progress. I can reliably uh, touch into these stories and not completely freak out. And I'm trying to do something different. This isn't exactly how to do tapping, but it's just a variation. So, Okay. All right. So, uh, oh, did I say winter in Alaska? In a one-room cabin with two baby brothers, um, a stepdad that I fought with a lot because he said a lot of really mean things about me and other people, a lot of negativity, and my super exhausted mom. Um, and overarching that is we're literally roughing it, homesteading, essentially, subsistence lifestyle, like grow your own food. Okay. Hopefully that sets a good enough thing. Eventually I'll come back and like post videos of me telling stories so that I don't have to try to set the oh, I could put a picture of my family photo at the cabin right here. Okay, so this can be like an editing cue. I go like this. All right, that's an editing cue to my assistant. um, I'm gonna like try to do some sort of motion where I kind of frame where I'd like you to put a photo. And when I put this request into Asana, I will attach the photo. Yeah. And it's of my childhood cabin. So now I'm going to put my hand back over the camera, and that is an editing cue that I'm re entering where I was. So, okay. So yeah, I lived in a little cabin. So I'm gonna put a photo right there eventually, or my assistant will. um, so that was then, and then now I was pet sitting, which means I was getting paid to be in this bathtub essentially. And my trade was I took good care of the house, took good care of the dogs, um, and I received many benefits beyond the generous um, compensation financially that I received. It's also just like I just love this particular house so much. Um, and it's a good friend of mine, and she owns a cleaning business, and so she usually has somebody clean it like right before I get there because she knows that I just love a really clean house. Anyway, so I was in that bathtub. I was in that bathtub yesterday. I realized that I always take photos like every time I'm in a bathtub almost. Um, and whenever I'm in like on a river or hot tub that doesn't have chemicals in it, because when it has chemicals, I'm trying not to suffocate. um, so, okay, so some of the bullet points, because no, this isn't around the campfire. Okay, I guess around the campfire doesn't come naturally. I guess what I'm realizing is that it feels like I'd be forcing myself. So instead, I'm going to try to keep with the little capsules. Okay, I just like to call attention to the fact that I'm wearing my collaboration T-shirt that was with Art by Fate. I'm sure I'll put a link down eventually. And then I'm wearing layers. This is a dress that my friend Ayana gave me. It's very cute, but I'm just not in the mood right now for showing it off. That feels very twirly. So my inner teenager likes that. All right. So yeah, what was it? All right. In the winter, if I wanted to wash my hair, well, if I wanted to take a bath, I needed to use a galvanized tub that was outside, and so it was very cold, so I had to remember to bring it in early. I typically would melt the snow on the wood stove for the water because that was the best way to get water in the winter. Yeah, that was just how we needed to do it in the winter because we carried our drinking water from town, and you're definitely not going to want to use that for washing your damn hair if you carried it, like up the hill. So galvanized tub in melting snow on the wood stove, and then if it was really cold, uh, and maybe the fire was out in the kind of kitchen area, then I didn't have privacy to take my bath. So I would be like in the one room cabin, the whole family be hanging out, and we didn't have a TV. And so there'd be the oil lamps and to light the place, and the warmth of the wood stove. Um, and maybe they'd be reading stories or listening to the radio, which we must have had battery powered, um while I'm taking a bath. So of course people, family members are going to be looking at me. So that was then. And now I just love how when I have a bathtub available to me, which is mostly only when I'm on vacation or pet sitting. Most houses have a bathtub, but I don't use all of them because sometimes they're dirty and I don't feel like cleaning them. And that's fine. Okay, so now I friggin' love that I can be inside in a warm house because my house wasn't always warm, even if I was right by the stove. It was either too hot or too cold, mostly. Okay, so there's like central heating in the house. There's a door on the bathroom. When I have the house all to myself, nobody's gonna even come in. I can be in there as long as I want. No one, no family member, animal, job, nothing is gonna come knocking at the door and say, "Are you done yet?" No one's coming to do that unless I forgot to potty the dogs before I got in, which I don't typically. And then I get up and I do it. Anyway, I can do what I want. I can put a bunch of Epsom salt in it. I can take multiple baths in the same day or in the same like 48-hour period. Yesterday so I love oranges. I usually cut. Oh, I already ate mine. I usually cut it into slices because I hate it when I get messy. I hate peeling oranges if it gets under my nails and stuff. And so I thought, well, I like the smell of orange peels, and if I peel it by hand and it, drips down or whatever, I'll be in the bathtub and I can just clean it right off. I won't get sticky. Nothing. Yeah, I can make a mess and it won't gross me out. I freaking hate being sticky. Uh, yeah, so I peeled it and I dropped the big pieces of peel in the water and I could smell it because I have an extreme sensitivity to smells. Um, Mostly in a good way, but it sucks when it's around like gross smells or chemicals. Uh, so yeah, so that's then and now. Like I just freaking love the privacy, the ease, the warmth. I can like let some of the cold water out and I can get some more hot water. It's so decadent. Like this is so much water. It just blows my mind because I never sat in more than like a couple inches of water, which was usually the runoff from my bath. And like my mom or my brother or somebody would have to like use a pitcher so that I could rinse the soap out and shit. So see, it was cute when it was my little brothers, and I have this adorable picture. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to, I have to find that photo. It's so funny. Adorable picture of my little brother Tom, and he's in a pot, and it's the same pot that we use to boil crab. So he's in a crab pot, and he's kind of standing up, and that we must have just been giving him a bath. And yeah, that's what we used to do. Put a baby in a pot. Baby in a pot. Baby in a pot. There's a song there for sure. And I love it because there'll be some people who are like, oh my God, I'm aghast. You're talking about a baby. You're cooking a baby. No. No, I am not. I am very literally saying when my brother was a baby, we literally put him in a pot and gave him a bath. So, let's see. Is there anything else I want to say about? No, I think that's a good enough capsule. I think. That feels like a decent amount to kind of get out. I think I'm gonna dance out of the frame for a moment, shake and shit. Not no, I'm not gonna take a shit. No, I'm just shaking and stuff. Like I'm anyway. I'll be right back. Oh, oh, oh my god. Okay. Stretching, opening my chest with stretches. Oh, you know what I could eventually do is I could aim the camera at the mirror, um, and I could do my silly dances, and it would be kind of on camera, and also on brand because it's all about reflections. Okay, some of the things that have been really helpful lately is I've been feeling really validated by about my wanting to spend as much time home alone as possible these days, or in a beautiful house that I'm being paid to take care of. uh, yeah, just alone and able to try to like feel my own flow. So been doing that a lot. And I know there was actually a different point I intended to make, but I don't remember what it was. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think part of the reason why I make videos too is because, kind of that thing where teenagers seem to take a lot of pictures of themselves. Like, I think that's actually a really natural behavior. Just back in my day, we just had mirrors. We didn't have, like, cameras weren't that accessible back in the 70s and 80s. So, and I didn't. Then and now, when we did get electricity, I eventually, like for my birthday or something, I got the coolest thing. And it was a lit up mirror about this big, and you could flip it around, and the back would be magnifying. Like, oh my God, there's my zits. And you'd flip it back around, and it would be just like normal. That was the only mirror I had, I think, for like years. I don't remember. I think I was definitely in college before I had a full length mirror readily available to me. Um, and I really also loved that mirror because it had light up bulbs around the edge, and that it was such new technology then. And now I have this little ring light, which is light years better. And the quality in that thing I could never get. I always looked yellow or anyway, it didn't matter because I hated doing shit with my hair. So also part of the reason I needed to come here is because I have dirty hair. And I have gosh, on camera it looks fantastic. In the mirror it looks like shit. Huh. Anyway, well, it doesn't totally look fantastic, but allowing myself to to record myself while my hair is dirty and feels kind of icky, and I think looks kind of icky. I thought, okay, well, why am I so uncomfortable with being on camera like that? Why am I so uncomfortable with with being seen in that way at all? Because really doesn't seem like something that I should be afraid of, Uh, so I got a little curious about that, and I started thinking, okay, well, you know what? Let's practice, because I almost never let my hair get dirty like this. I usually wash every other day, and it's because I'm freaked out about it looking gross, and that is in reaction to having no privacy. And then the only showers that were available were at the school locker room, whatever school I was going to, and they were always open locker rooms. And so even there, if I took a shower, someone would see my naked body, and I didn't really want that. There was really no way to have privacy. And then if we went to the laundromat, sometimes we went to the laundromat and we would rent shower rooms by the minute or hour, and we're always broke, so we're always trying to spend as little time there as possible. And so I also did not get privacy in that situation because the whole family be in there pretty much the whole time, and we were always trying to hurry, so there's no time for Jess Heather to be in there by herself and take a goddamn private shower. And now, right in my house, in my apartment, right over there, like, I don't know, I'll have to count how many steps. I have a fully functional bathroom. My 7 to 18-year-old self wanted this like more than anything. There's drywall in my bathroom. There's a closing door, which technically locks. There's really no reason to lock it, but it locks if I wanted it. It has a working sink that hot water comes out of. It has a toilet that flushes, and I never need a crap hatchet or lime, or I never have to put toilet paper in a bucket that we then sometimes burn and the smell, and then the fire smells like poop. Like, I don't have to ever do that. I don't have to ever think about digging a new hole for the outhouse that is now full. And now I gotta move that fucking little building with a come along and a pickup truck that only runs sometimes. And it's over uneven land and big stumps because we didn't usually cut down the trees right. And then we used the trees to build our fucking cabin. I shit you not. I I skinned fucking trees with a tool that I don't remember its name, but it has two handles and like a knife for wood. And oh, Dia Barker? I don't know, that's what it's called. I was a little 8-year-old. Let's fucking do this. Let's build a goddamn cabin. I just want to help. But this really scares me because it's really sharp. And what if I hurt myself? And I'm tired. And I want to play. Can I please not build the fucking cabin today? Okay, good job. Doing good work. All right, so another important one that came up today is this blockage around how to do work, how to do business, how to show up in the world. That there's rules and there's ways you gotta do it. And if you don't follow the rules, then everybody makes fun of you. They're all gonna laugh. They're all gonna laugh at you. I think that's Jim Carrey. I don't remember what movie. I'm sure someday someone will tell me. Anyway, so I've had the plan and the idea for quite a few years now, and I started a YouTube channel called Heather's Full Catastrophe in like 2016, and I had lots of ideas, and I put a lot of samples there, and it's actually like there's a lot on that channel. A lot of actually what I think is cool stuff that I would watch. So I had a dream, and I had very clear visions of what it would look like. And now I have technically 5 YouTube channels, but they're not all active right now. And there's some like new spin-offs that are coming soon. And it cracks me up to use the internet as my storage space. I can have as many videos as I want saved. YouTube, I think, has unlimited storage. I don't know. And it's all content that I can use eventually. Oh my God. I have storage units all over the place on the internet. Someday I'll have to go find all of the like things I started, like Squidoo. I wrote a few blog posts on squidoo. I don't know if squidoo even exists anymore. All right, so business. Fuck you. That was the energy. It was like, fuck you, the establishment. Fuck you, last paradigm. I know how we were told you gotta do business. I know we were told what it's supposed to look like. I know we've been told how you're supposed to do the online thing. Like, yeah, but basically you gotta be more polished and more like fancy, and it fucking takes long time to get there. There's a lot of steps. And it creates a false idea that people go from, I have an idea, to, look, this is what I made based on that idea. And it just jumps straight over the fucking creative process. So then all these people who don't kind of use their, what's the word? I don't know. I can't even remember the word. But like their critical thinking skills. They're not using their critical thinking skills. They'll be like, oh my God, they were an instant success. Oh my God, they just went from nothing to this amazing. Like, no. It takes a lot of time and process and progress and energy to learn all the shit and do all the things and layer it in as the thing before gets easier. Habit stacking. Did James Clear start that idea? I don't know. Yeah, so I've deeply studied and I'm trying to take the best from all these different models that I've learned from within. Network marketing. I think I did that for a total of 10 years, 2 different companies. I attended a lot of network marketing parties and whatever's meetings. I studied them deeply because I wanted to understand how they worked. And it was so clear to me what was good about them. There's a lot. I could definitely do a whole thing about that, but not going to. I studied starting my own business, which was we started the handyman service, my ex-husband and I, basically to create a job for him. And then we started a cleaning service to create a job for an employee's wife. They were family friends. And then essentially through Girl Scouts as a leader for 7 years, and cookie season every one of those years. There was a lot of, I lost the thread. That's good. Oh, there was a lot of business training there. So a lot of that was really good, but still business training plus teaching because I was demonstrating for the girls. And I really loved doing all that. And I recently found some photo albums, which is great. Okay. What else? Business. Yeah. Fuck you. I can do what I want. And one of those things is I create these special little places, which is a little YouTube channel, which has a certain theme, a certain idea, and people will know what to expect when they come here. And one of the things to expect when you come to one of my channels is it is my playroom. It is my workshop. I can do what I want. And I just happen to let you look in the window and or talk to me about it sometimes. So don't tell me how to play my own game. And now that I'm taken all of my training from all of my careers and all of my professional, higher level education, someday I gotta write down all the classes I've been paid to take and that have been paid for by someone else, and all the travel I've gotten to do, and all the free nights in hotels and free rental cars and all the stuff. And the money I've made from per diems from business travel. I'm fucking genius in a lot of ways. I'm putting that to use for me. Oh, fuck all these events. Jesus Christ. I'd like to meet some other people who have done, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of events because at this point I don't know anybody. No, I do. I know my fairy godmother, my fairy godmother from the University of Oregon. Yeah, she's done way more than me. A factor of 100. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So another little Another little theme that came up today is, oh my god, if I wanted to see friends as a kid, if I wanted to visit someone or do an extra curricular activity after school or have a sleepover on a Friday night, if I wanted to do any of those things, it was practically impossible. Sometimes it would work out really magically and that'd be cool, but a lot of times I just didn't ask because maybe we didn't have a car at the time, but all the time it was a 45-minute drive at least in good weather. Um, well, if it was breakup season, you might not make it at all. Or just take, a lot of hours drive through the fucking broken up road. Anyway, anyway, I'm trying to let my characters out too. That's another thing I like to come practice here. Let my characters out because I think it's gonna. Oh, yeah, a friend of mine had a stroke. It's terrible. She's not old enough to even be thinking about getting a stroke. And actually, I don't know that. I don't know how old that starts happening, but I think it's young. I think she's too young. Anyway, she had a stroke. Someone said, "Hey, sometimes people who have difficulty speaking after a stroke can sing, and it comes out." And so I thought, well, I've not had something as serious as a stroke, but what if that helps me? And I've seen all these people who have talked about open your throat chakra, sing, remember to connect to your yoni as you sing. Because I don't remember how it works, but there's something about the throat and the yoni, and they're really similar. And if you practice, if work with your throat, then if you work with your throat, then somehow it helps your yoni. I don't remember. I haven't paid that close of attention. I just know I've seen it around. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. If I wanted to see friends or do extracurricular activities, the big fucking pain in the ass. Uh, Rarely happened. And when I did ask, it was a big production. And until I was like 14, if I didn't get any sleep, I would barf. I literally would barf all day the next day if I was at a sleepover and didn't sleep. Or if we like took a red eye or something and I didn't sleep. It was such a strong reaction to lack of sleep. And so eventually my mom, well, it could have been I also ate junk food when I was at people's houses and we didn't eat junk food at my house because we ate what we grew and what we caught or what we hunted or traded. Anyway, okay, so I would go to sleepovers, I would eat some junk food, I would stay up all night, and I would barf. So eventually, I remember this one time I was barfing in a public bathroom, which is fucking disgusting. And so I'm already grossed out about the fucking public bathroom. I think it was fairly clean, but I could have blocked that part out. I don't know. I just know I didn't like being on my knees over a public toilet. Anyway, I'm barfing. I'm barfing, and my mom is so irritated. She's just like, you know what? I just don't think you should go to overnights anymore. Like, this is just too high of a price. And I'm like, please don't take the overnights from me. I hardly ever get to do them. I don't like barfing either, but I also really want to have some friends. So I think there was quite a few years there I didn't have sleepovers. And I couldn't have them in my house because there were a lot of barriers to that. I just don't want to get into that right now. Okay, so that was then hard to, have friends outside of school. Um, and it's not like you could talk on the phone all the time. You couldn't FaceTime, like that didn't exist. We had a fucking party line phone. So sometimes it wasn't even available because the fucking neighbor's on the phone. And we didn't always have that either. I don't know. I think it was like 14 before we got a phone. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now is even a big improvement over like 2016, 17, 18, 19, when I really wish there was telehealth and we didn't have to go through so much trouble to go to a doctor's appointment or something like occupational therapy or A lot of the recovery my daughter needed after head injury. It fucking sucked having to go somewhere and get there on time and then wait and then it was a big time investment. And now we have telehealth, which is fucking awesome because now I don't have to leave my house to see the doctor. And it doesn't take me a week to plan and recover from the fucking doctor's visit and travel and all the things and acting normal when I didn't fucking want to and remembering to eat and remembering to plan for the next meal and all of that and finding parking. Fuck. Now I can get out this magic portal where I can bring up anything and anybody I want. If I want to learn from Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't have to go to some fucking college and like pay tuition to hear him speak or go to where he works and listen and probably have to pay a whole bunch to listen to him speak. I can just like buy a subscription. I think it's called Masterclass, and I can take a class from Neil deGrasse Tyson. There's so much. I mean, that's just one example. But this magic portal, I can transmit my image and my voice across vast distances. And on the other end, someone can see me. And sometimes if we want, they can talk back to me. Or it's like this, where I just record it and it goes out into the cosmos. And maybe someone will see it and listen to it, and maybe they won't. It's kind of like that thing that, I can't remember the names, but that guy that made the little spaceship that has like the gold record on it or something, and it's supposed to have all this information that aliens would definitely be able to figure out, and they would learn about the human race and Earth from this thing. I've always wondered about that. Like, with that absolute hubris, that motherfucking humans thought that they could fucking imagine how to communicate with aliens. Jesus. As a resident alien, I am using a different definition of that than the, like grays or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. Anyway, I have studied human behavior since I became aware of other humans. And yeah. So anyway, I love being able to communicate with people in the video because it hurts me. It frequently hurts me to be in the same room as somebody else. And if I have to be in the room with a lot of somebody else's, I typically have to like cover myself with a metaphorical protection suit, but not a survival suit, thank God. And someday I'll have to come back and tell the fucking story about the goddamn time that I had to use a survival suit, which is the thing you wear to survive in Alaskan waters if you end up in there for some reason. Anyway, I had to use it as a pillow because I really needed a nap. But we were, I'd probably been up like 30, I don't know, I've been up a long time. And I wake up and the whole back deck of the boat is underwater. And the fish that were on the deck that shouldn't have been, that's part of the reason we were practically sinking. The fish are kind of floating. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to lose a bunch of fish. Okay. Sidebar, put that aside. Yeah. Now I can talk to friends or doctors or learn from anybody I want without leaving the house. And I love it. I love it. And I've lost some friends who are like, I don't want to talk on video anymore. I'm so tired of video. And I want to feel you. I want to be in the same place as you. I want to spend hours with you. That's another thing. I have a max 90 minutes. Often I can go a little bit like further than that, especially if I'm really having a good time with somebody, but 90 minutes is a pretty hard and firm limit. And I don't want to go up to 90 all the time. Like, it's a lot. Anyway, 90-minute max on hangouts with almost anybody except for most members of my family. I would like a lot more than 45 minutes, especially my daughter. I'd really love that. And of course, my boyfriend, I can spend lots of hours with him, but I also don't want to spend all my time with him. I like to spend a lot of time with my coloring books and my photo albums and these art projects I want to do and writing that I want to do and video editing I want to do and lots of other stuff. Okay, so now, see, did I cover what I wanted? Oh yeah, I want to remember part of what I love about this magical portal is that uh, it is probably way better. I'm pretty sure I've heard stats that like our technology now is way better than the Enterprise's was, but I fucking love thinking about James T. Kirk and Spock and Bones and all my buddies from Star Trek. Because once we finally got a TV, Star Trek was one of the shows that I loved watching with my mom, or mostly my mom and I think watched it. Anyway, Star Trek video, communication across vast distances, and now I can do that right here. This is amazing, amazing. You know what? Like hundreds of years ago, like frontiers people wrote letters. They wrote letters and they wrote journals and they would send letters and it would take months and months for the mail to return. Or maybe it never would because maybe the mail pony and the mailman riding the pony would get shot or something. And when I lived in Alaska, if I wanted to send mail, it was like a lot of effort. And if you wanted to send a lot of pages, you had to use really thin paper, which was sort of easy to tear and kind of bled through and stuff. But you didn't want to use any more pages than you had to, but you really wanted to write lots of pages of letters. So it would get really expensive the more heavy you got. And then God forbid you call long distance because that was fucking expensive. And in the background, you'd always have a parent going, a little quicker. I mean, I know you're enjoying talking to, family member or friend from afar, but god damn it, it's fucking expensive. Hurry it up. Yeah, that was then. This is now. Love it. I love it. Okay, I gotta get off. And I was watching some Seinfeld. That's another thing. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't have to just be in front of the TV only when the fucking channels want to show like Seinfeld at 7 o'clock. I no longer have to create my schedule around a fucking show that I want to watch, which I want to see it, but I don't want to create my fucking schedule around this arbitrary time that some fucking people in suits like decide, oh, we're gonna put it at this time. That's when they're gonna get the most watchers. uh were the Nielsen family like were they ever real? Like did they really send like boxes out to people's houses and then kind of tracked their TV watching? Did that really happen? Anyway, um Nielsen family ratings. Yeah, that's a thing, right? Okay, so I've been having a hankering to rewatch Seinfeld because back when it was original I think I was in college. I mean, it's not like I had a TV readily available. We had one in the like common lounge or something. And sometimes the people who like to watch Seinfeld would commandeer it. Sometimes people would be studying. They'd be like, "Don't turn the TV on. It's gonna rot your brain." And I'd be like, "Fuck you. You're like 20 something. Don't tell me what to fucking do. I want to watch TV. I want to watch Seinfeld." And then people would be like, "That's not politically correct." And I'm like, "I'm watching fucking Seinfeld. Can you leave me alone, please?" There was quite the politically correct evolution in the early 90s when I was in college. So anyhow, if I wasn't in front of the TV at the exact time that Seinfeld was on, too bad, missed out. Someday there might be reruns, but it'll probably be at some fucking weird time of day, so you won't be able to get that either. And if you don't have the TV guide, then you don't know when it's gonna be because there's no just like looking it up. There's no rolling screen of what's happening on every channel. No, there's like the Reader's fucking Digest or the pages in the newspaper. That's what we had in the old days. That's why you had to have the newspaper. It was the only way you knew it was going to be on TV. All right. So, yeah, the other thing about back in the day is if, like, again, if you missed when it aired, you didn't get to see it. And there would always be a cliffhanger. I don't think they even hardly do cliffhangers anymore. There would be a cliffhanger. Oh, no, yeah, that's still normal. And you would have to wait months for it to restart. And that's like a really long time when it's your favorite show and you're like, fuck, I want to see what happens. And then you forget because it's been like months, 3 months, I think often it was. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it would be months. And then you're like, I kind of forget. But luckily they, do a little refresher course on the show. But still, again, if you missed that first episode where they did the little refresher course, then you're fucked and you're trying to figure it out the rest of the time. But, Seinfeld wasn't that complicated. Uh, I got a lot of shit in college for not having people would be like, "Oh, you never saw the Brady Bunch? Oh my god, how did you survive?" And I don't know. What? You never saw what's that fucking show? With Fonzie? Hey. Fuck, I gotta see that again because he was so sexist. Actually, yeah. Whoa, the 50s just were. Anyway, all right, time to get the fuck off. 50 minutes. Okay, but I did it. I had dirty hair and didn't look as bad as I thought it would. And I changed my altars back here a little bit. I put some more dried flowers up because that was pretty fun. You know what I used to do? I used to smash flowers in special little in books and wait, and because that was the only way for me to keep dried flowers. Otherwise, they just get crumpled. But now, since I have a place to put them and nobody fucks with my shit, and there's no little boys putting marshmallows in my curling iron, god damn, that pissed me off. Anyway, sign off. Done. Okay. I fully don't expect anybody to ever fucking see this, but it was a purging. My throat feels clearer. My heart feels lighter. I got some ideas out of my brain, clearing the cobwebs. I've been clearing the cupboards in our house, and somebody's really pissed about it because it's all of her shit. But I'm like, dude, you never use this. It doesn't need to be in a cupboard where I could put some dried beans and rice and stuff like that in case there's emergencies and we need some food to eat. So get your shit out of those fucking cupboards. Okay, okay, all right, all done. Bye bye. Gotta get off now. Bye bye.